It starts quietly. No explosion, no fast cars, no spotlight. Just a moment where a man decides he's done living the life everyone else expects from him. Jason Statham wasn't born into fame, money, or privilege. He didn't walk into Hollywood with connections or a safety net. For a long time, he was invisible. And that's the part nobody likes to talk about. Because before the muscles, before the movies, before the millions, there was a version of him that the world ignored. A version that got rejected, underestimated, laughed at, and passed over like he didn't matter. And right there, that's where everything actually began. Most people think success starts when someone gets lucky, when a door opens, when someone gets discovered. But that's a lie we tell ourselves so we don't have to face the uncomfortable truth. Success really starts when you're alone, broke, tired, and still refuse to quit. Jason Statham spent years in that phase, years training his body like a weapon, years mastering discipline while nobody was watching, years hearing no so many times it would have crushed a weaker mind. But instead of breaking him, it sharpened him. He wasn't trying to become famous. He was trying to become dangerous. Dangerous in focus, dangerous in self-control, dangerous in work ethic. While others were partying, he was training. While others were chasing shortcuts, he was building foundations. Diving, fighting, running, conditioning his body every single day like his life depended on it. And maybe it did. Because when you grow up without guarantees, you either build willpower or you disappear. There's something different about people who come from nothing. They don't romanticize the struggle. They don't post motivational quotes while doing nothing. They understand pain as a language. Jason learned early that talent means nothing without discipline, that confidence without preparation is just noise. So he became obsessed with mastery. Not just physical strength, but mental control. Showing up even when motivation was dead, especially when motivation was dead. Rejection followed him everywhere. Casting agents didn't see a star. They saw a rough face, a strange accent, a guy who didn't fit the pretty Hollywood mold. And again, most people would have adjusted, tried to soften themselves, tried to become acceptable. Jason did the opposite. He leaned into who he was. He didn't ask the world for permission. He decided that if he was going to win, he'd do it on his own terms. That's the part you need to hear carefully. He didn't wait to feel ready. He didn't wait to feel confident. He moved while scared. He trained while uncertain. He worked while broke. Willpower isn't loud. It's quiet and stubborn. It's waking up on days when your mind is screaming to stop and saying, "Not today," over and over for years. When the opportunity finally came, it wasn't magic. It was inevitable. Because when preparation meets a single opening, the world calls it luck. But Jason knew better. That moment only mattered because of everything he did when nobody cared. One role turned into another. One risk turned into momentum. And suddenly, the same people who ignored him started calling him unstoppable. But here's the real secret. Money didn't change him. Fame didn't soften him. He kept the same discipline that got him there. Same routines, same standards, same hunger. That's why he didn't just become famous, he became wealthy. Sustainable wealth doesn't come from one hit. It comes from consistency, brand, and reputation. Directors trusted him, audiences trusted him, studios trusted him, because he always delivered. No excuses, no drama, just results. And that mindset spilled into everything. His body stayed sharp, his choices stayed calculated. He didn't chase trends, he became one. Action heroes came and went, but Jason stayed because he wasn't acting tough, he lived it. That authenticity is priceless. You can't fake years of discipline. You can't buy resilience. You earn it in silence. Think about how many times you've wanted to quit, how many times you told yourself maybe it's not for you. Jason had those moments too. The difference is he didn't negotiate with that voice. He didn't let temporary doubt rewrite his future. He understood something most people never do. Feelings are temporary. Discipline is permanent. And this isn't just about movies or money. This is about power, real power, the kind that comes from controlling yourself when everything around you is chaos, the kind that lets you build a life instead of reacting to one.
Jason Statham's millions are just a side effect. The real victory was becoming unbreakable long before the world rewarded him. If you're listening to this and feeling that spark, that discomfort, that quiet pressure in your chest, good. That means you're awake. That means you know there's more in you than what you're currently living. Don't ignore it. Don't drown it in distractions. Feed it with action. Follow this page if you want more stories like this. Not fairy tales, real journeys, real mindsets, real transformation. Because somewhere between where you are now and where you want to be, willpower is the only bridge. And if Jason Statham proved anything, it's that when willpower is strong enough, nothing can stop you. And here's where the story goes deeper, because most people stop listening once money shows up. They think the journey ends there. It doesn't. For Jason, the real fight started after success, because staying disciplined when you're broke is hard, but staying disciplined when you're rich is even harder. Comfort is dangerous. Applause is dangerous. Fame whispers lies. It tells you you've arrived. It tells you to relax. It tells you you're special. And that's exactly where most people lose everything they worked for. Jason didn't fall for it. He treated success like a responsibility, not a reward. Every new role meant higher standards. Every bigger paycheck meant more pressure to stay sharp. He knew one weak moment, one lazy phase, one ego-driven decision could erase years of work. So he doubled down. Same early mornings, same brutal training, same respect for the craft. Because willpower isn't something you turn on once, it's something you protect every day. There were moments he could have cashed out mentally, roles that didn't excite him, injuries that slowed him down, long shoots that drained his body. But instead of complaining, he adapted. He learned how to move smarter, how to train more efficiently, how to preserve his edge. That's intelligence mixed with discipline. That's how you last. Notice something important here. Jason never tried to be everywhere. He didn't chase validation. He built a clear identity, strong, silent, precise, reliable. When people saw his name, they knew exactly what they were getting. That's branding at the highest level, not loud marketing, consistent character. And that consistency built trust. Trust builds leverage. Leverage builds wealth. This is how you go from being paid per job to being paid for who you are. That's the shift most people never make. They stay workers forever. Jason became a force. But behind all of it was a simple rule he lived by. Do the work even when it feels pointless, especially when it feels pointless. Because progress doesn't announce itself. It hides. It stacks quietly. One workout, one decision, one refusal to quit. Then one day you look back and realize you've become someone your old self wouldn't recognize. That's what real transformation feels like. It's not dramatic. It's uncomfortable, lonely, boring, repetitive. Until, suddenly, it's not. Suddenly doors open. Suddenly people listen. Suddenly your time is valuable. And everyone asks how you did it. They won't like the answer, because the answer isn't motivation. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's willpower, repeated so many times it becomes identity. If you're still here, still listening, that tells me something about you. You're not just consuming content, you're searching for confirmation. Confirmation that it's possible to rewrite yourself, that discipline can beat circumstances, that consistency can beat chaos. It can. But only if you decide, the same quiet way Jason did, that quitting is no longer an option. Stay close to this page, follow it, because these stories aren't here to hype you up for 5 minutes. They're here to remind you who you could become if you stop negotiating with your potential. And one day, when someone asks how you changed your life, you'll smile, because you'll know it started the same quiet way, with a decision nobody else noticed. And once that switch flips in your mind, something strange happens. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop needing applause to move forward. That's where Jason truly separated himself from everyone else chasing the same dream. He understood that the world doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. Quiet, relentless execution. There were stretches of time where nothing exciting happened. No big announcements, no viral moments, just repetition. Train, recover, learn, improve, repeat, day after day, year after year. And this is where most people fall off. They mistake boredom for failure. They confuse silence with stagnation. Jason never did. He knew that boring days are the price of an extraordinary life. He also understood something even deeper. Willpower isn't about pushing non-stop. It's about control, knowing when to push and when to pull back, knowing when to say no, knowing when to walk away from distractions that look attractive but lead nowhere. As his fame grew, so did the noise around him. Offers, opinions, expectations. Everyone wanted a piece of him, but he guarded his time like it was oxygen, because it was. That discipline created freedom, financial freedom, creative freedom, mental freedom. He didn't need to say yes to everything. He could choose. And choice is the real definition of wealth. Not money.